Today on What It's Like, 1957 Pontiac Chieftain, two-door Catalina hardtop. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like. This channel, we cover the lost and forgotten classics, vintage, some exotics. This channel is a home for the orphan cars, or car companies that no longer exist. That's what Orphan Cars stands for. This is so much more than walking around a car with music. If that sounds like a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. This 1957 Pontiac Chieftain is currently for sale at Classic Auto Mall, Morgantown, Pennsylvania. For those unfamiliar, it's a mall. It's kind of in the name. All the storefronts have been gutted and filled with cars. It's like an indoor car show where you can buy the cars. Anybody can go there, and best of all, it doesn't cost a dime to get in. For more information, pricing, and pictures on this absolutely gorgeous 1957 Pontiac Chieftain, click the link below after the show. Let's talk 1957 Pontiac. Pontiac introduced its new Starflight styling, which included missile-shaped side trim, flatter and more rocket-like fins, and rear fenders with V-shaped tips, lower hood, and massive bumpers and grills. Let's talk about the styling differences between the 56 and the 57. Take a look at the front of the 56 and now the 57. They are very similar, with the only major difference being the bumpers and the chrome strips. The 56 has chrome strips kind of sort of in the center. The 57 doesn't have that, but the chrome is on top of the fenders, just above the headlights. And the biggest change comes from the rear of the car. And this is nothing new. GM and other car manufacturers would change only half of the car for the next year. Anyway, the rear and the rear quarters are totally different from the 56. The 57 has more pronounced side spears. It's almost like a stabilizer bar on the side of like a ship hull, like how it protrudes outward as it comes back to the fin section. It's more pronounced on the 57 than it is in the 56. And the 57, because of that, has a way more attractive rear end section, in my opinion. For 1957, the Pontiac was broken down into two lines of cars. There was a junior series and a senior series. The Chieftain was junior series. Star Chief was senior series. Let's talk about the senior series, and then we'll get back to the junior series because our car fits in the junior series. Star Chief rode a longer wheelbase of 124 inches and had full wheel discs as opposed to just the dog dish caps that you got with the Chieftain line. It's important to note the Catalina is referred to a roof option and could be had in either trim line. Confusing, right? But the senior series just keeps slapping names on, like Star Chief Custom Bonneville. Like, you knew you had something really special if you couldn't say the whole name in one breath. And I guess I should have elaborated this a little bit better, but the Star Chief had the Star Chief, and then it had the Bonneville as its top contender. The Chieftain line has the Chieftain and the Super Chief in it. Pontiac offered the Chieftain from 1949 to 1958 in 3 generations. 1957 falls in the second generation, which had a production run from 1955 to 1957. 55, 56, 57, built on GM's A-body platform along such cars as the Chevy 210 or the Chevy Bel Air. Pontiac Chieftain competed with the Dodge Corvette, Mercury Monterey. Buyers could also shop the Studebaker Champion. 1957 Pontiac Chieftain could be had as a 2-door sedan, 4-door sedan, 4-door Catalina hardtop, and 2-door Catalina hardtop. Let's talk specs. It's 206.8 inches long, 75.2 inches wide. It rides a wheelbase of 122 inches. It weighs 3,750 pounds. Price, $2,610, which is equivalent to you spending $27,679.93 in the year 2023. Total 1957 Pontiac production was 334,041 units. Total 2-door hardtop Catalina was 51,017 units. Moving on to engines. Only one engine on offer for the Chieftain, and note, these engines make different power based on transmission. 347 cubic inch displacement V8, 5.7 liters, 227 horsepower, 4,600 RPM, 333 pound-feet of torque at 2,400 RPM, compression of 8.5 to 1, 5 main bearings when mated to the 3-speed manual transmission. 0 to 60 could be had in 9.1 9.4 seconds. Theoretical top speed 112 miles per hour. Average fuel economy 11.9 miles to the gallon. Moving to the second engine, which is the same 347 cubic inch displacement, 5.7 liters. It makes 252 horsepower at 4,600 RPM, 354 foot-pounds of torque at 2,400 RPM, compression 10-1. This one is mated to the Hydromatic 4-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 9.9 seconds. Theoretically go 114 miles per hour. Average fuel economy 10.8 miles to the gallon. Important side note, the Chieftain has a 2-barrel carburetor, whereas if you got the Super Chief, it came standard with a 4-barrel carburetor and it produces more power. Star Chief has more power, as well as the Bonneville, I'm sorry, why do I keep doing that? Could get fuel injection courtesy of Rochester Mechanical Fuel Injection. Options, not getting into all of the options, but here are a few. Hydromatic automatic, 4-barrel carburetor was optional on Chieftains, but standard on Super Chief. Dual exhaust, air conditioning, radio. Whether you wanted a standard radio or a deluxe radio, you had to pay extra for the radio, power steering, power brakes, power sweep, contour, electric, wipers, and wash feature, clock, heater, and defrost. So basically, when you got the Chieftain, you literally got the car and you paid extra for just about everything. Let's talk styling. There is a lot to take in with this design. Notice these. Notice how the bumpers are all designed. This looks very Mercury-esque, like early Mercury. But this is a Pontiac. Look at how this comes up center line. Coming down the side. Look at this spear. It's dished right here. Also, check this out. This is very 50s-esque. How this flares. Even down here it's flared to the rear wheel well. Every single GM body has this dip right here, but it's in the different spot in all of the different models from what I've noticed. Cadillac doesn't have that dip, I don't believe, but everybody else does. Look at how this is designed, how it comes back around. I love this chrome piece here. And the wraparoundness of the rear window. Check out how this bulges out. Comes back here. This is a beautiful rear end design. It's not my favorite, but it's beautiful nonetheless. How this bumper's designed. And notice they went under instead of over. A lot of times they'll do the chrome piece on top. So the gas goes right here. I love how they integrated it in there, but notice it's not straight on, it's over, it's tucked back here. Interesting. Coming up and getting inside, just pointing this out. Notice this trim piece here, this bright work. When I open the door, because the vent window sticks up, did you see that? It pops out of the way. And I guess the thought process behind that is to seal it from the rain. That's what I would assume it was for. So that's what the door panel looks like. It's two-tone, white and black. Feels like it almost feels like felt. And then vinyl down here, but I could be wrong. But that's what it feels like. Door lock, armrest, door handle to pull the door shut, door handle to open the door, window crank for the big window. And notice it's all trimmed out. This one's got vent windows, and you unlock the vent window like that, and this crank opens the vent window. I think crank out vent windows are very classy. Coming down inside, the pedal box down here, emergency brake, brake release, The high beam switch is hiding underneath the floor mat. It's right here behind the parking brake. Brake pedal, gas pedal. Just notice the brake pedal is super small. There is a vent down here, which is controllable from this. Controls the driver's side, controls the passenger side vent. Just take a look at this interior. Here's what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood looks like. Here is the under the steering wheel position. I wear size 34 pants, and I only say this because if you're looking to buy these cars, if you're bigger than me, you might not fit. Like I think you will. There's about an inch between my steering wheel and my thigh. If you wear size 36, it might be a little snug. And I only show that because if you don't fit in the car, it's not very comfortable to drive if you ever plan on buying the car. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left and moving right. Left turn signal indicator, speedometer at the top. And I believe this speedometer works a lot like Buick's did, and it has this red bar that goes underneath the numbers. Super cool feature. Odometer in the center, amp meter, water temperature. Just off to the left-hand side are the windshield wipers and headlights. Right turn signal indicator, gasoline gauge, oil pressure, drive modes read, park, neutral, drive, second, first, and low. Heater settings, fan speed, which are in 2 speeds, low or high. Radio, that's where the clock would go if you got that option. Ignition, lighter, and ashtray. Up above, sun visors. Nice rear view mirror there. Another sun visor over there. This is what I look like behind the wheel. I'm 6'2", and I fit in this car perfect. And I also say my height because if you're taller than me, you know, mileage may vary. Everybody's different. Everybody's made different. Different body styles for everybody. Just like different body styles for different cars, you know? But I got tons of headroom. You could wear a hat in this car. And that's what it was for, you know? That's why these roofs are so high, so that you could wear a hat if you wanted to wear a hat. Ashtray here. There's a cigarette lighter here. On to the glove box test. Here's our test subject. Here's my hand for reference. Here is our glove box in question. This one doesn't have a glove box in it. I think they put some, I think at one point in time they might have had some sort of aftermarket air conditioning thing in there because there is a pipe back there. So we can't do the glove box test. Getting in the back seat. That's all the further they move out of the way, which is really unfortunate because that's not a very big spot to get through. So interestingly, the seat over here on the passenger side actually folds up and slants further than the seat on the driver's side. This is a whole lot better than the driver's side. So getting in the rear. So here is what the front looks like from the back. Here's a quick gander of what the greenhouse looks like, glass to pillar ratio. The greenhouse in this car is excellent. It's got a nice wraparound windshield in the front, and the pillars are very narrow, allowing lots of light into this car. And that's what the rear view looks like from the back seat. There's a nice shelf, really nice view out the back. Let's take a gander at the seat profile. It's rather upright, and the seat cushion does dip back quite a bit back here, which consequently makes your knees go up as well. So it's a very weird seating position. I got sort of negative knee space. The seat's going to have to get moved up if I sat back here. Now let's talk creature comforts. There is a dome light there in the center. There isn't a coat hook on that side nor on this side over here, but you do have an ashtray, and there's also an ashtray over there. And these windows do go down, and they operate like this. I always think it's so cool watching these windows go down because they don't go straight up or down. There's also an armrest here that runs perpendicular with this dip. So just notice that it dips in the same spot that this dip is. Very interesting. It's actually really comfortable if you put your arm on it. This is what I look like in the back seat. I got tons of headroom. I got about the same amount of headroom back here as I did up front. And it's comfortable, but if you're 6'2" like I am, you don't quite fit back here. It's more or less for kids. Coming to the under the hood section, there is a lever right here. Oh yeah, this hood's extremely heavy. There isn't a secondary catch. You just have to push up on that, pull straight up. But just check that out. That is so nice. Look at how high that hood goes. Hood goes up really high. It's got a generator. Batteries up here front and center. Nice horns. There's a horn there, a horn over there. I'm not entirely sure what this doohickey is. That's where the power brake booster would be, but I've never seen a design like that. But there's hoses coming out of it like it's something to do with heating or cooling. In the comment section below if you know what that is. On to the pros and cons. Another shocker. This car isn't in the complete book of collectible cars, and to think the book should be titled Nearly Complete or a selection of classic cars. Anyway, these are based on my own observations. On the positive, nice, easy to read gauges. Gauges for everything. Chieftain doesn't have the chrome or the blitz that the Bonneville has, but because it's not oozing with chrome, it has a cleaner look, and to me, the design aged well. Negatives, these V8s can be thirsty. Back seats are small for adults. All right, now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give me the correct name of the band as well as song title will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below, or check out our Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel. The link will be in the description. So if I catch you on here or Facebook, just know I appreciate everything. And until next time, well, wait a second. Here are some previews for our next episode. 1948 Chevy Fleetmaster Sports Coupe that has wood sides. How cool is that? So that is something to look forward to next time on What It's Like. And until that time, toodaloo!